Hey everyone, welcome back to Dad Hacks. Today I want to talk to you guys about oil changes and show you guys about how I do my oil changes. So today I got my wife's car in here. It's a 2018 Ford Escape. I went to O'Reilly's and got an oil and filter. You're going to need to know your engine size, what model, and what year it is. And they'll be able to tell you what capacity and what oil or what filter you need. They'll also tell you what type of oil you need. My wife's car takes 5W20. I got the high mileage for it. The Valvoline high mileage. And then I got the Wix XP oil filter for full synthetic oil. But anyways, let's get into it. So before I start my oil change, I like to come under the hood and take the oil cap off. That helps it drain a little bit quicker while you're underneath. Next, I'm going to jack the car up so I can roll underneath it and start draining the oil. So I like to jack it up on the passenger side pinch weld. Let me see if I can show you guys where I'm at. Yep, so right here is the pinch weld. And now I'm just going to jack it up enough to work underneath it. Her car has one of those stupid panels underneath, and you guys are going to laugh at me when you see the tool I got to work with. I forgot my Torx bits at work, so I have to use this Harbor Freight Torx bit set. So it's going to take a little while for me. Now this is that panel that's got to come off that is held on by a million of these Torx bits that I got to get off. So I'm going to get those off and I'll come get you guys. There's one. Just a million more to go. Alright guys, I got that panel off. It was held on with 9 screws. I had to use a T30 bit, in case you guys are wondering. So before we start draining the oil, I wanted to talk to you guys about oil filter wrenches. There's a couple different styles. This is one of them. This is probably the one I'm going to use today. It uses a 3/8 ratchet, and the fingers just lock onto that oil filter. Another good option is always the plier style. So those work really good as well. They do crush it though, so you got to be careful if you need them to get that last little bit when you tighten it. Another good one is the band style. I do really like the band style, but I don't have the right size here today, so I'm gonna use my finger one. But yeah, so let's start draining the oil. Alright guys, so for this car I'm using a 13mm wrench. I'm gonna try to show you the drain plug. It's on the back side of the engine on the bottom. Right there. Alright, so I got my drain pan underneath and I'm going to break this drain plug loose and get it draining. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this, but I got it broke loose. I'm going to take it out the rest of the way by hand. And if I'm quick about it, I won't get much on my hands. Just a little bit on my thumb. Pretty good. So now I'm going to let that drain before I start working on the oil filter. But in the meantime, I can show you guys where it's at. I don't know if you can see it hidden up in there. That's what we got to get to. I decided to use the plier style oil filter wrenches. So I'm going to get it broke loose while I'm letting that oil drain. Alright, so it's broke loose and I'm just going to wait until the oil's done before I take it off all the way. Alright, so I got the drain plug back in it and tight. So now I'm going to get this filter out. Now this is where you're going to make, or you got the biggest chance of making a mess. So you just got to take your time and be careful. You should be alright. And you got to make sure that this O-ring comes off with the filter. And if it doesn't, make sure you grab it off of the engine. Because if you leave it on there and you put your new filter on it, it's going to blow out and leak oil everywhere. This O-ring right here. So just make sure you get that out with it, or else you're going to have a big mess. Alright, I'm going to go get the new filter. Alright, I got the new filter. And then I got some fresh oil on my finger and I ran it around that seal so it didn't go on dry. Because if it goes on dry, it could stick and not seal properly. Now, before you put on your new filter, you're going to want to clean off where that seal is going to sit. So I'm going to take a piece of paper towel and just wipe it off. Because any dirt on there, and it's a possibility that it'll leak. And be careful not to touch the O-ring on anything dirty, because you don't want dirt getting on there. Now to tighten these, I usually grab a rag and I just go as tight as I can possibly get it with my hands. Now I'm a bigger guy, but if you're questioning it or not confident, you can always grab like a strap wrench and tighten it up just a little bit more. I think the spec was run it up till it touches and then plus a 3/4 turn. But yeah, I just go as tight as I can get it. I'm pretty happy with that. Now we can lower it back down and get some oil in it. So the guy at O'Reilly's wasn't super helpful. He told me it takes 4 and a little bit quarts. So I'm going to start with 4 quarts and I'll check it from there. Alright, and then when I'm done with my funnel, I just like to stick it back in the jug and let it finish dripping. Now I'm going to put my cap back on it. And I'm going to go start it up and let it run a second. And then I'm going to shut it back off. Now this is a good point where you look back underneath and just double check, make sure nothing's leaking. And we're looking good. I know it looks like maybe something's leaking over there, but it's just water from all the snow dripping off. Now I'm letting the oil drain back down right now from running. It's throwing it around the engine. So just let it drain back down for a minute and then check your levels. Now I went a little bit over the 4 quarts I said I was going to add. And as you can see, I'm right in the middle of the min and the max. I like to be a little bit closer to the max. So I'm going to let it drain down a little bit more just in case, and I'll check it again, but I think I'm going to add a little bit more oil. Yeah, it's still a little bit below what I'd like. So I'm going to go get my funnel, add a little bit more. And there we go. Perfect. Right at the max. So now we're good for another 5,000 miles. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to reset the oil light. Alright, so to reset this oil, what you want to do, I got the keypad right here. You want to go left to go back to your menu. Scroll down to settings, vehicle, oil life reset. Now you guys should not be waiting for your oil light to come on to change your oil, because normally these are set a lot higher than your normal 5,000. So I'll go by the number. I'm gonna put that number in my notes, and that's how I track it. Alright, so now I gotta go get that stupid panel back on, but I'm not gonna take you guys with me for that. So to dispose of your old oil, guys, what I like to do is just dump it all back into the jug that I got it out of, and then you can take it to your local mechanics shop and they'll take it for free usually. And they actually use it to heat their building, so make sure you're not just dumping it out or something like that. If you guys like this type of video, you guys should consider giving me a thumbs up and maybe hitting that subscribe button. If you guys have anything to add, that maybe a tip that I missed, let me know down in the comments. I'd really like to hear it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.